I do get that sense of like, oh man, I feel like I'm missing out, but this is what I've always wanted to do, and there's some things you have to sacrifice. You don't know who to turn to. You never told me this. What if I never see them again? Like, I need to store up all the hugs before I go back. Hopefully, I'm praying. So guys, welcome back. If you're new around here, my name is Hannah Martin. We have a very special guest and a very good friend of mine. I'm not gonna try and pronounce her last name. She will say it for you.
Rodrigues.
I can't say it. Mathilde
Rodrigues.
So if you can actually pronounce that, guys, like brownie points to you. Give this video a big thumbs up already because you're already winning in life. I cannot, but I will keep working on it. I say I can't even say that. Oh my days. Rodrigues. That's how I say it. She's gonna teach me Portuguese/Spanish. It's gonna happen. We are currently on tour in London, performing at Sellers Wells. 3 shows in. Had the morning off and thought, why don't we just chat to you guys? Mathilde has so much experience. I think a topic that is very hard for a lot of dancers or professionals, not just in the dance world, but just in the world in general, is like staying away from family and being away from family, especially when you're in such like a stressful environment, a stressful job where things sometimes be very uncertain, especially during COVID times. Mathilde joined Birmingham Ballet in the middle of COVID. Like, you had to spend months in
quarantine.
like in her small apartment in Birmingham. How did you train?
Bar, like in the kitchen top. It was hard. No space.
I was very lucky to spend all of quarantine with my family, but you were here like on your own. How many weeks did you go without seeing anybody?
After Christmas holidays, we were in quarantine like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
We had like classes in Zoom. We end like the workouts at 2. We are having lunch and it was dark and I was like, I'm having a lunch or dinner, I don't know.
I hadn't been in the UK that long.
Half a year.
But it was already like such a huge adjustment coming here and living on your own. I have lived away from home since 18, so not that young really. For some vocational students to move away at like 11 or 12. Moved to Birmingham to study at Elmhurst Ballet School, but I don't feel like I properly moved out. Even at ballet school, I went home like leave out weekends, which were every 3 weeks, and then we always kind of had Saturday, Sunday off, so if I wanted to go home, I always had the option, whereas here at work, it's so intense. For you, it's even longer because your family's in Portugal. For me, it's like a 4 or 5 hour train journey back home, so there's 10 hours of traveling if I want to go home. So if we just have Sunday off, I'm going to be traveling 10 hours of the Sunday, so there's no point going home. Anyway, I asked you guys on Instagram some of your staying away troubles, struggles that you find that maybe we can talk about a bit and give some advice, or just like sympathize or empathize. Like, I don't know which one it is.
Don't ask me.
Like, he's British and I still don't know my own language. So did you know much English when you came? Like,
no.
Like, I literally am in awe of you, how you came here on your own. You didn't know much of the language, and look at you now. This girl's an inspiration.
I could understand a lot, but like speaking was a problem.
So guys, make sure to follow her, In Love With Life, on Instagram. I will link it down below. Whenever I'm away for acting jobs, I feel like I'm missing out on things. Do you ever feel like you're missing out on things at home?
Yeah, maybe birthday parties. I try to call my family, but it's not the same. We are like a really family.
Sometimes have like dinners on Sundays together,
Yeah.
you, me, Reagan, Eric, to try and build that family environment. But there is nothing like being with your family. Like, the times I miss it most is on the weekends when my family are like, oh, we're having dinner together, we've just been to church,
to the beach and the restaurants, and I'm like, and I have to meal prep for the week.
Sometimes when I'm so tired, I just miss my dad's meals. Sometimes I just can't think of what to cook and I'm tired and I don't want to make myself anything. My mum's like, look what dad just made me, and I was like, I just want to be home. But I always find Sundays, when we have the day off, is the hardest day for me. I have time to think about my family, whereas usually we're so busy, like I can hardly think about anything.
I remember in the beginning, at the end of Sunday, I was calling my family like crying. It was like really hard because the mind is not busy with work.
I do get that sense of like, oh man, I feel like I'm missing out. But then I remind myself, but this is what I've always wanted to do. This is my dream, and there's some things you have to sacrifice, and it hurts
and they are supporting us, so.
Exactly. Do you tell yourself it's for ballet and I love ballet this much so I can do it?
We have to go for it.
Like, this is obviously quite a young career, a little bit now or never, so like there'll be another season of my life where maybe I can spend more time with my family. But even when I go home now, I cherish the moments I spend with my family so much more than I used to. So I just try and hold on to those moments as much as I possibly can. Loneliness. To be fair, there's always so many people around at the company.
Yeah.
I feel it on
now
Sundays.
Now I feel more in the company. With COVID restrictions, I wasn't going out. Now I feel I have like someone to trust.
I was just getting to know Reagan, my flatmate, and I was getting to know you on that friendship basis where you know them, but like not enough to like ask them for help when you need it. And I think that's where you can feel really lonely. You don't know who to turn to. You don't fully trust anybody just yet because you're still like getting to know them. I've been here almost a year, getting to know the people that I can trust and reach out to when I'm really struggling. I'm missing the sound of my mum coming through the front door. That's so sad.
Oh yeah, especially now, summer.
Soon we'll be home.
Yeah.
Soon we'll be home. Being far away from long-term friends for long periods of time.
I still speak to my friends. I know they are supporting me, and when I post something, they're like, oh, I'm so happy for you. So we keep contact.
Yeah, I think for me, before when I was doing gymnastics, I didn't actually see a lot of my friends anyway, and I used to see them very like on and off, like once a month or every couple of weeks. I probably see them the same amount now as I did then. I just was so busy with training. This one hits home. Not being able to have a cuddle with my mum at a moment's notice.
Oh my god.
I'm
like, she was like, you know, the babies. She's always like doing me this, like to get sleep. Love that. I'm like a kid.
Sometimes I go to mum and I'm like, I need to store up all the hugs before I go back so I can bring them with me. We're not really helping or giving you solutions. We're just kind of relating to whatever you guys say. Homesickness at night and missing family time. Oh, I miss family time a lot. But mainly on Sundays, like I'm telling you, the rest of the week. But sometimes if we don't have a full schedule, I can feel it. When we have full schedule, I'll get to the night and I'm like, oh my goodness, thank goodness my brothers aren't screaming at me right now. I mean, I would still welcome it. If they wanted to come live with me in Birmingham, I'm not going to complain. This is interesting. Feeling like ballet is your whole self and purpose. I think when you don't have your family around, you can like take over everything. I have a few church friends, so people who don't understand ballet, which is amazing. If you have people who don't get ballet, sometimes it's nice because it kind of brings you back in like the normal universe of like, you know what, if you can't point your toe as much as Mathilde, it's gonna be okay. You've got to show your feet. Come on. Right, go on. Oh my god! I'm gonna be eternally jealous of Mathilde's feet. Do you feel like that? Feeling like ballet is everything?
Like, I don't have friends from outside. I love like, watching MasterChef and cooking and learning about that.
She's so good at nutrition.
Yeah, so I like to learn other stuff.
You can sing and play the guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah, guitar. You'll see it on her Instagram, guys. You'll see it. We got quite a few, so we're gonna try and get through just a few more. Quick fire round. Here we go. Not being able to eat my favorite foods.
I don't miss that because I made them. Sometimes they don't eat there because I made when I'm there.
She's the cook, so it's okay.
My dad is like a little bit lazy, so I have to force him to cook. Yeah, special thing.
I miss my dad's cooking for sure. Trying to find comfort when you're dealing with struggles of ballet without family. That is hard, especially with injuries. Like, there's nothing worse than when you can't do your job properly because of like an injury, and then all I want to do is be home because I can't do ballet because I need to rest, but then I can't be home because I need to be at work, like watching and being part of the rehearsals but not allowed to dance. I just want to be in the comfort of my family while I'm trying to heal, but those moments are where it becomes really important to be able to use FaceTime. Like, I was calling my mum all the time and they were always so supportive, but those are some of the toughest moments, I think. Missing watching movies with my mum is what I do with my family every evening, so I miss that. Leaving home after going back for a break, always thinking about the day I leave. This is something I struggled with when I used to go back for like short weekends, and so as soon as I arrive I'm thinking, I'm gonna have to go back in like 48 hours. I don't have time, and then you don't enjoy the time with them.
When I go, it's like the last like a week, so like I have a whole week to enjoy. I just try to enjoy.
It's better when it's longer. When it's so short, like all I'm thinking about is I'm gonna have to go back soon, and if I don't get enough rest I'm gonna feel tired, like because obviously I have to travel back and then the work starts, and I definitely can relate to that. Something I'm trying to do more on stage as well is like try and live in the present moment. Be present in every moment of life. London life. It's not just London. Not just London, Birmingham, it's city life. Is she gonna go away? Where was my trail of thought?
Living in the present.
Living in the present. Thank you. So I did this piece called 24 about being in the present moment. Something that I brought onto stage now. Used to get so nervous when I was performing with the company because I didn't want to make any mistakes. In this run of shows, I've just like, every time I could feel my mind like starting to panic, I just thought, be present.
I'm getting closer and closer like to God. Every day I feel that.
Yeah.
It's like dryads. You do like a part and then you stand and you wait. When I'm waiting and I'm like, thank you God, like for the first part.
Yes. I did the same thing.
I'm like,
on opening night this time, I had like Bible scriptures in my head.
Oh.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
That makes me so relaxed.
We've been praying before we go on stage recently. You're left with your own thoughts a lot, which can sometimes be hard.
Sometimes you have to tell yourself, like, stop. Like, we have like two persons, like, to tell yourself, like, stop. You are enough. You are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, there's days and some days you feel bad, some days you are like, oh, today I feel good. And enjoy those days and try to
use them to help you on the days that aren't so great. To be honest, I sometimes watch Netflix to try and shut off some of my thoughts, which is not always the best thing to do. I realised recently I've been watching all the tennis all the time, but I hadn't given myself time to like process things that were happening, so I just wasn't thinking. I was just like putting the tennis on between rehearsals and then going to rehearsals, and then putting the tennis on, trying to like numb my brain from like thinking about life. So I think it's actually important sometimes, if this is a habit that you might have fallen into, to like give yourself time to reflect. I'm trying to give myself more moments to do that, because as soon as I wake up, I just try and distract myself from my own thoughts, which isn't always a good thing. Sometimes you need it, but other times it's not great. On average, how frequently do you get to go back home?
maybe like twice a year.
That's so crazy. I don't know how you do it.
Nutcracker. Now we are always performing in Albert Hall. So maybe it's just the Easter holidays or
Easter
like
holidays,
and then summer.
Try and see mine once a month. If I don't have my once a month quota, I start getting emotional, and I don't sometimes know why, and then I realise, oh, I haven't gone home for a while and I need to see my family.
We get closer to the date we are going. We are getting like even more excited and more emotional.
Like, especially when sometimes they've added like a rehearsal or something and then I can't go home. I feel so much more upset than if I just knew I couldn't go home. Having no one come and watch your performances. I mean, I can't speak for this because my parents are coming this Saturday, but
my mom watched one Nutcracker.
I remember that.
And I saw her on stage and I smiled at her and I was like, snowflakes. I was the first one, so I was like,
my mum will come to watch like a few performances. She came 2 or 3 of the 24 performances, but my dad is going to be watching me as a professional for the first time tomorrow.
I hope it goes well.
I don't have the fear of something bad happening with the fam when you're not there. Do you have that?
All the time.
Really?
All the time. I pray for my family every morning. In 2013, my mom had intoxication, in coma for a week, and I didn't know anything. And she died for like a couple seconds. Like,
you never told me this.
So like, yeah, I'm afraid for my mom, especially because she has diabetes. And every morning she always send me like a voice message. I was like, thank you, she's good, she's going to work. I care a lot about my mom.
Sometimes I had those thoughts of like, what if I never see them again? Just like out of like the blue.
Then I cry.
I always cry.
Every call I end like, love you lots. If I stay bad with them, I call them back. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was upset. Same. But I love you so much.
Same. Yesterday morning I was so tired and a bit grumpy, and I was like, wait a minute, Mum, I'm really tired. I'm really sorry. This is not about you. It's because I'm tired, not you, please.
Yeah, that happened last week with my dad.
I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being part of this video. Make sure to go follow Mathilde on Instagram. Subscribe, like this video, and comment this emoji if you made it to the end.
You have to put the cashew.
The cashew, because of her
there is a cashew.
Yeah. I'm sure there is.
A croissant.
A croissant. Croissant. See you very soon. Dream big and make it happen. Let's do a quick thumbnail. And then maybe something like... Thanks.